Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen and Chill, hosted by Zenrotto and Oceaniz.
Hello, hello, folks. Hope everyone's been all right.
And we have got a couple of weeks to catch up on. We got some news and announcements and such, and then we'll get in there. So why don't you go ahead, knock out said news and announce. Well, at least the pertinent news to the show. I don't really know that much about anime news that's happened lately. I don't know if there's been anything big.
Well, there's been a couple of actually big things in the manga sphere, but I'll start with the news about the show. I will be leaving Shonen and Chill in one of the coming episodes. We haven't quite decided.
I'm a child.
Yeah, like we haven't quite decided when, right? Um, but yeah, because of personal reasons, I will no longer be the co-host of Shonen and Chill, and the future of the show is up to Zen, and yeah, so we'll have like once we know which episode will actually be my final one, I'll like do a proper goodbye dance, and we'll kiss digitally, and yeah, so that's the big one on my side. Um, what's the manga news then?
You got me. I don't know anything major.
Oh, damn. Okay. Um,
Zelda came
so
out, man. I've been in the weeds. I
you've
don't know
been in
anything.
Hyrule. You've been in Hyrule constructing like fucking torture devices.
Absolute contraptions all over the place. Gizmos, if you will.
Brother, you're going into the device. We're putting you in a contraption. Um, no, the big one, I think the funniest thing that happened in the manga sphere recently is that for the last couple of months, Kodansha was hyping up an app called K-Manga, which was gonna be their equivalent to the Shonen Jump app. Um, and the day of release, Wiz shadow drops the Wiz app, which is just the Shonen Jump app for pretty much everything else that Wiz owns.
Got him.
Yeah, and it's like the Wiz app is basically like the Shonen Jump app. You pay $2 a month, and you have access to all of Detective Conan, a whole bunch of old series, basically everything that Wiz has a license to, and that is currently in ebook format. Whereas K Manga, the thing that Kodansha was hyping up for months, is the most garbage ass service imaginable. As in, it literally works off of like gotcha coins to like
Oh
read
God.
chapters and unlock them. Yeah. Um, and they do have like mature series, but everything's like censored. Like two people will be fucking on screen, and everything except their heads is just blacked out.
Oh yeah, I saw that screenshot. It was just like two
Yeah,
heads. Oh,
yeah,
that was
that's from
really
K
funny.
manga. Yeah, and it's like all that marketing for a fucking gotcha manga reading app where you have to like pull for coins so you can read a chapter. Um,
That's
and
astonishingly bad.
it's terrible. And they just get like out outplayed on the day of release by Wiz. It's so funny. They even had like the Wiz CEO make the announcement. He's like, "Hi guys, we're just casually doing this. Okay, bye."
That's
But
hilarious.
yeah, um, aside from that, actually, I don't think there's been much. I mean, I'm sure there's been a lot else, but I haven't heard anything else. So I guess we can get started with our top three. What do you got?
All right, so my top three. It was kind of tough this time. I really liked. Well, okay, Chainsaw Man's number one. That's the easy one. My
Yes,
number two
bet.
is probably Sakamoto Days, and then my number three was I think Kill Blue.
Damn. Okay. Very interesting top three this time then. Um, my number one was Chainsaw Man. My number two was Ichinose's Family's Deadly Sins. And my number three was Blue Box.
All right, so we're very varied this week.
Yeah, that's what happens when the automatic number one isn't the automatic
Yeah,
number one for once.
that was. I don't even really have like I'm not super down on the chat. We'll talk about it when we get there, but it was just like nothing. It was
It
just
was just weird.
borderline nothing chapter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. All right, so then we'll start with Spy Family.
Uh, the plot is picking up, which is cool.
Every time that starts to happen, I'm like, oh, the plot's picking up, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, it's not. So I'm
Ye-
expecting it to return to form here pretty soon, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I mean, I feel like this is the kind of series where it's always 50-50 whether or not they're actually going to do anything with the plot. Because when's the last like genuine plot development we've had in Spy Family that wasn't like immediately undone? Like
the
when they got the
mom,
dog.
right? Finding
I
out that the
guess.
mom hates the kid,
Oh yeah, that is
or is like
true.
creepy about the kid. Um,
Right, right, right. Okay,
yeah, that
that's
is
not too
probably
long
it. But
ago.
other than that, it'd probably be Bond. Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy to think about. We are approaching the level 100, chapter 100 um mark. So perhaps this is actually like committing to some plot progression because it is kind of a bigger conflict that they're setting up here, like a direct confrontation between the two one of the secret police and between Wise. So
Hmm.
it could happen. Um but yeah, aside from that, it was cute. Like Spy Family is always cute.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really talk about Spy Family for too long because it's always just like they do cute stuff,
Yeah, exactly. I
and it's
mean,
all anytime there's conflict, it's a big silly misunderstanding.
yeah, pretty much. Also, Yuri still sucks. I hate him.
Uh-huh. Still the worst.
Uh, yep. So hopefully he gets humbled in this arc.
I do like that Yor is taking to heart the talk they had last time about how she has to have some kind of complaint, so she's desperately
Mm-hmm.
trying to make one so she can fit in with her friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly. It's cute, like little.
just little cutie things. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
It's a little manga for cute people.
Yeah, manga for cute people out of
Mm-hmm.
10.
So next up is Fabricant 100.
Oh, this is kind of good, but also like, oh no, we aren't
Yeah.
fighting the final guy. Like, that's my that's my main conflict right now. It's like, this is cool. I am actually enjoying this, but oh no, this is very much the end game shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it is what it is. If this is genuinely us moving towards the end, at the very least, it doesn't feel quite as bad as like something like Candy Flurry did.
No, Candy Flurries was that almost feels like the author was like, well, fuck you guys, because just all of a sudden the villain showed up in a giant Gundam made of lollipops, just out of nowhere.
Actually, that's pretty balling now that I think about it.
Yeah, well, when the wound left, it was pretty neat.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, this is pretty cool. I kind of like that number 100 is kind of like vaguely villainous-y in this one.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because once again, making it clear that like she's not a good guy. So she's a good aligned bad guy basically.
Yeah,
Um,
she's a bad guy who's currently cooperating.
yeah, and the combat was fine. I don't really like or understand how the blood blocking veil works because it's just like, oh, I cut my arm. Look at all of this blood that I can make into a circle. Um,
Well, wasn't it that for humans it basically just blocks their vision? That's all it does. But for the Fabricants, it does that and it like really disorients them because they're so fucking horny for his
yeah,
blood,
because they're
and now
super
they're like
horny for
covered in
blood.
it.
I just don't understand how he's like manipulating where it goes. Because isn't his power just healing? Just really good healing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he just sort of splooshes it and then moves away from it, and then it, as it heals, like moves towards him, and that
Oh, that's
motion.
right. It like rewinds back into him. That's gross. It gets some
Yeah.
dirty blood.
Hey, buddy, you've been playing with Recall all weekend. Like, you don't get to talk about rewinding time.
That is true.
Imagine you could do that in Zelda. You just recall someone's blood.
The recall on a person and it just aries them back into a baby.
You're like, oh, recall, and they just start shrinking and gradually being pulled towards their mother.
Start sliding along the ground toward wherever their mother is.
Yeah, awful.
Gross.
Yeah. But yeah, I really hope that this is like a fake out little fight arc and we move on from this. But considering that now Fabricant 100 is killing all the other Fabricants, this might actually be it. Um, I don't know what to feel about that. Um,
Yeah.
because the thing is, Jump has been really aggressive with the new series recently, right? Because I mean, we got like 5 new series over the last month.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
Yeah, because we got Kill Blue, we got what else we got? We got Do Retry, we got Tenmaku Cinema, and
And
we
recently,
got
Exorcist just came out.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, that's four. That's not more than we usually get, I think, but it did feel very sort of bap 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 one
Yeah, I
after the
think it
other.
was just how many it was in quick succession, like one after the other. Because,
Yeah,
Kill Blue has only got 4 chapters, and then we've still got 2 series younger than it in the book right now.
yeah, that's true.
Tenmaku Cinema
Um,
has 5 chapters, and there's 4 series younger than it. Like, that's a lot, really quick.
yeah, I think they're really. I think they got the memo that both My Hero and potentially JJK are
Are
not long for this
truly
world.
winding down now. Yeah, Mashle too has got to be close to done by now.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, we've been saying One Piece is close to done for as long as this podcast has existed, but you know, it is objectively moving towards the end, one way or another.
Technically moving toward completion. That is true.
Like worse than the manga, the anime must be like stuck in the same episode for like 2 years now, because I've been seeing Kaido get like destroyed by Sakuga animation since I was in high school. Like dead ass. I think the Wano arc started in my last like year of high school, or maybe that was in the manga. But either way, it feels like every weekend I log on and they're like, "Oh, this is like some crazy One Piece animation." And it's just them hitting that guy over and over again.
Yeah, that poor dude. It's just Luffy like going Super Saiyan 4 or whatever because they have a lot of. I never pictured One Piece as a series to basically just be Dragon Ball. So every
Mm-hmm.
time I see all those animated Sakuga clips and it's like Luffy with a shining purple Super Saiyan aura like flying through the sky for like 20
Mm-hmm.
minutes and then he just
Mm-hmm.
punches this fat dragon dude in the face every time.
Yeah. Every episode, it's like for 2 years now. Every episode is just Luffy going sick or someone going sicko mode on that poor fucking guy in
He's
his
just
own
doing his
home,
best, man.
nonetheless. Yeah, I mean, I know Kaido. I haven't read that far into One Piece, but I know Kaido's like probably a pretty bad dude. But like, he's getting jumped in his own home for like 2 years. Like at this point, let him go. Like you've done the damage.
Yeah, it's already. I don't know how you can still be excited to watch Kaido get punched every week. I don't know. I
I
guess
mean,
if I had to watch Gojo punch something every week, I would be fine. So maybe I get it. But
yeah, exactly. And also, if you're like super into animation, then the animation is genuinely great every time. Like what Toei has been doing with One Piece is incredible. It's just kind of wild that it's being used on content that seems to be so repetitive.
yeah,
Anyway, this is not the One Piece section. That one doesn't exist.
yeah, there is not a One Piece section.
No.
Uh,
Fabricant
Fabricant
was cool.
100. I hope you don't get canceled out of 10.
Yeah, Fabricant 100. So long, my sweet summer boy. I hope to see you again out of 10.
All right. Next up is Undead Unluck.
I'm gonna be honest, we're kind of back with the word salad chapters.
Yeah, I don't really know why they this whole reveal of like, oh, the aliens attack people who have strong emotions, so that means that he has emotions after all, is like I
Hmm.
assume was meant to be like a heartstring moment. Boy, I don't care at all
Hmm.
about that.
Yeah, yeah. This space arc kind of didn't work for me.
No,
Just a
it's
whole
not
lot of
hitting. It's not hitting.
just a bit of a salad, just a bit of a mess. But hey, it was an all right like setup. Just kind of didn't live up to it. But the aliens are kind of. I don't want to say they're out of place because this is Undead Unluck, but it is kind of wild how they just show up and they're like, "Okay, we're dealing with this now." It's like, "Okay,
Yeah,
let's
okay, we're
go."
now fighting these aliens.
Yeah, I
These
mean,
super powered aliens that are immune to all forms of damage unless you blow them up from the inside.
I mean, I do kind of respect that, but at the same time, that was also a little weird. But yeah, besides that, I don't have much to say on Undead Unluck. It's just kind
It
of
just it was what it was. This was a
it
very
released
nothing
it.
segment, but these were kind of nothing chapters. There's nothing. They're just punching aliens.
Yeah, a chapter released, and boy, did we talk about it.
Yep.
Out of ten.
Out of 10. Yeah. All right. Next up is Akane Banashi.
uh, super surprising. It's good. It's been good since
Yeah,
forever.
shockingly, it's still good. Um, I really liked the bit of her basically playing pretend of having a drink with her dad,
Hmm.
to like learn about him. I thought that was interesting.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and it was also cool. I just like the ways this series continues to like try and reframe Rakugo as not just the weird theater art form that you've never watched. Um,
yeah, that you've never even heard of before this.
yeah, so it's like, oh no, Rakugo is like a time machine, and it's such a cool way of looking at it. Because yeah, I guess it is. Go girl. Um, I also thought it was kind of a cool premise for a chapter where it's like she wants to learn more about her dad as like a person and not just as a father.
Hmm.
Um, because it's one of those things that you kind of don't think about much. You're like, oh yeah, I have parents, I know them, I have opinions on them. Um, but yeah, you do eventually have to get to the point where you have to like think of them as people, not just as parents. And I thought that that was an interesting way to package this into her like growth, both as a person and as an artist. Um, so yeah, Kanabanashi continues to be good. Crazy little time skip at the end there as well. We're just there.
Yeah,
We're
we're just
just at
at the
the
thing now. I still love that the Doofy dude is like a beast. He gets his
right,
own little panel, this little dweeby panel of all of them going to get ready.
right. I love the fact that he's not a joke. That he's actually like a fucking menace. Can't wait to see that go down. Um, but yeah, I also like the little interview section where she's like interviewing all her friends and all the people that knew her dad.
Yeah,
Um, and I like the little hint that we get that like, hey, maybe not all is well with her dad, right? That like, oh, they don't really talk about Rakugo anymore, and he seems to be really distant from it. Um, like I wonder if that's gonna become anything bigger going forward.
maybe. I mean, the way that everyone talks about him, it's like he's dead. Like he's not
Right?
there anymore. I'm like, kept catching myself and being like, oh right, he's still around.
Yeah. It's like no, taking an office job equals death in the Akane Banashi
Hey,
universe.
not too far off.
Oh, well, that's what we got home office for now.
That's true. That's true.
I can work in my pajamas. But yeah, Akane Banashi, good out of 10.
All right, next up is Mashle.
Well, I can definitely say it's not necessarily a good out of 10.
Remember what we just said about Kaido? Feels like
Yeah.
what we're doing here with Mashle now.
Yeah. Yeah. I
We
mean,
need we need a chapter to get this guy to be like, I'm doing a cool thing, and then Mash gets to punch him, and then
mhm.
we wait for next
Gonna be
week to figure out how Mash is gonna get out of this one. It's the
yeah.
pickle that he's in.
I had like a I had like a black and white PTSD flashback moment when Mash flicked the attack and then his fingers bleeding and I thought he was gonna be like, "Oh, I only have 9 fingers left," and like my fingers and my face started twitching, and I start gurgling Horikoshi's name. But
Just sprawled out on the floor, seizing
yeah,
up.
suing jump for emotional damages. Um, but I mean, to be fair, it was a cool moment. But man, yeah, this is yeah. I mean, we're just beating the Kaido on the roof at this point.
Hmm.
Um, overstayed its welcome. Not interested anymore. Uh, When Innocent Zero at the final page says it is over, I'm like, yeah, please.
Are you though? Yeah, are you lying to
Yeah,
me? Is
yeah.
it?
Sick
Uh,
design though.
yeah, he looks
Sick.
cool. I also don't really understand. So, uh, they basically did the Madara thing where
Mm-hmm.
he was like, "Oh, you stopped it, but what about the next ones?" And there's like a bunch more. It was really
Mm-hmm.
anticlimactic that he just like dodged them. Why didn't you just dodge the first one?
Well, he really wanted to break his finger.
Yeah, like why didn't you, if you're just gonna dodge them, why didn't you just dodge all of them?
Mm-hmm.
I thought the whole point was that he was like, the way it was framed looked like he was protecting like the people because
Yeah.
there was that big ass blast coming down, and then it shows the panel of all of them like, oh my god. And so
Mm-hmm.
I thought he had to block it because he had to like defend them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but then he throws three more, and Mash is like, oh, I'm gonna get out of the way, which
Yeah.
kind of sucked a lot of the energy out of the moment, in my opinion.
He's like, ooch, 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 my finger hurty. I'm not gonna do that again.
I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay-ish, I guess, out of 10.
Yeah. Beating Kaido on a roof out of 10.
Yeah, I had enough of this shit out of 10.
Yeah.
Next up is Tenmaku Cinema.
We're getting to this author's favorite thing, which is drawing women in bikinis. Let's go! It's happening.
We're
We've been
making it
telling a
happen.
yeah we've been telling a good story for too long. It's time for the trash to come through.
I can
Um,
respect that. You know, sometimes you just got to get the garbage out.
yeah, that's true. Um, but yeah, it was all right. This feels like one of those chapters in JoJo where you can tell that Araki read a Wikipedia article the day before writing it, and so just sort of out of fun, and now he's info dumping about it. Like this is what this entire series feels like. Someone just getting really into like indie filmmaking and being like, "Oh, I want to write about it." Um, which is cool. Like I think it has a lot of charm. Um, not sure I'm super invested though. I gotta say.
Yeah, I'm kind of not. I don't know. There's not really like a hook, at least for me. I guess is the hook making the movie, but like I don't have an emotional attachment to any of these people to like super value the creation of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and like I don't. I originally was kind of like, oh, you know, the mystery of who this guy was, but they're not really like looking into that like
Mm-hmm.
actively. It almost kind of feels like whenever we get information on who he was, it just sort of like is randomly dumped on us from a different panel.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. There's just nothing that's like drawing me in, really. There's nothing
Yeah.
happening. They're just making a movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of that's kind of where I'm at too. Like it's fine. Like as I said, it's interesting seeing like these little info dumps about guerrilla filmmaking and like certain filmmaking techniques. Like when they talk about the insert shot, like that's sweet. Um, but yeah, like so far, because another thing that I thought they might do is sort of make it also more about the main guy and the girl. That they sort of bond a little more, but it seems like she's really gonna be relegated to being cute, being intimidating, and now wearing a bikini.
Yeah.
Um, which is a shame.
I was kind of
Uh,
thinking it was going to go that way when we got that little bit about her being like, oh, I don't really get to like do things because of my career. I have like my producers and everything are all over me all the time. Um,
mhm.
but then they quickly abandoned that and they spend like this entire day together with no problem at all whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Um,
oh well.
oh, it's fine. It's an alright series.
Yeah, cute-ish enough, but probably not going to be much more than that out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
So next up is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's not in the top three. I
Yeah,
skip.
it's
I
sort of like the
scrolled
first
past it.
time ever. Um, Nothing
Well, you
happened.
go. I mean, nothing happened, but also a lot got skipped over.
Yeah, nothing happened when a lot of stuff should have happened, basically.
So,
Also,
like,
Sukuna is just straight up like munching this bones. Like, how you biting through that, buddy? Some bones,
yeah, I mean, when you have regenerating teeth, who cares,
I guess. I mean, obviously the big elephant in the room is can Yuji switch bodies now?
right? That seemed to be what they're implying here. Which, I don't know. It's just such a weird way to progress the story because all of our characters have gone through like a whole bunch of like changes. We have Sukuna has ingested like most of the fingers. Gojo's back and he's learning about Nanami and he doesn't give a shit, which that kind of gives me Shigaraki flashbacks. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and now Yuji has apparently a new ability. Um, they also mentioned that there's one person who hasn't recovered yet. Who does that refer to? Do you know?
Which page is that?
Page 6. Iori says that there's one person who isn't fully recovered yet.
I don't know.
I've seen some people mention say that it might be Nobara, which hey, why not
Well,
at
I
this
don't know
point?
because the way that she's phrasing, I mean, maybe it could be, but the way that she's phrasing it is in response to Gojo saying it's just the three of us, like the older generation.
Hmm.
So I don't know why it would be Nobara, because why would Nobara be the fourth one of the three of them? What connection does she have to any of them?
That is true.
Um,
Maybe they're talking about taking Kenjaku's like taking
Geto back
Geto's
from,
body. Yeah,
yeah,
taking him
maybe.
back.
Or like,
Yeah.
did she sneakily save Yaga or something, and we're gonna find out later?
Hmm.
Because that's one that almost weirds me out even more than Nanami is he didn't even get mentioned as dead. Like,
Hmm. Yeah.
why would they not have been like, oh, by the way, that and the fact that he's just hanging out with the old man.
Yeah, with Gakuganji, and it's
Yeah,
like,
like why are you not ripping that dude apart right now?
yeah, like it's just kind of. I'm sorry, Zen. This really does feel like Arc 3 MHA.
Like
Uh,
with Udahime, I don't mind. A lot of people were complaining about her too, but I always kind of felt like she was good and just kind of mean to Gojo, which is not a bad character trait. Um,
yes.
but like, why are you chilling with Gakuganji? It's kind of like he was like, you know what, man, I really gotta get done with this.
Yeah, because like we set up December 24th as like the big confrontation last chapter, didn't we?
Yeah, it's literally the chapter before this one.
Yeah, and now we skip to it immediately. It's like I don't know. I can't say I like it. I cannot say that I think that's good. Very reminiscent of some of my heroes' shenanigans. Um, and again, just a whole bunch of stuff that I wish we would have seen as like actual stuff happening in the story instead of just being told and being forced to infer it. Um, so I like that Kenjaku's just watching TV on a highway.
hmm Also, Gojo is just wearing Toji's outfit,
Yeah.
just
Also,
straight up wearing Toji's clothes.
is Gojo going to fucking die after coming back?
I feel like yeah. Um, well,
Like,
okay, because at first I was thinking that we were gonna have more stuff between last chapter and literally the final battle, which apparently we're not. So then our
mm-hmm,
other options are one, this is literally the final battle. We're gonna go into it right now and then end the series. Or
mm-hmm,
two, it's the first half of the final battle. Gojo's going to lose, and then, like Kenjaku said, everyone's going to fight Sukuna together after that. That's all I can think of.
neither of which seem all that good as
No, they
conclusions.
don't seem that good, do they? Um,
Yeah,
and then also like, what happens to like 90% of like, where's Kashimo?
yeah,
Wasn't he
right.
like hanging out with them the previous chapter when Gojo came back? And
Mm-hmm.
doesn't he like want to kill Sukuna more than anything? And you're not gonna even just have them fight just to have Kashimo get murked really quickly? Like that's fine with me.
Yeah, like just seems like a whole bunch of stuff either got put on major pause or outright dropped in the
The
meantime.
biggest example of that has to be Miwa, right?
Oh yes, what the fuck was Gege
What
cooking there?
what was happening? She shows up and she's walking through the ruins and she's like, got the eerie like, oh, to be continued panel, and then she never shows up again, and now she's just back here, chilling, doing nothing.
What the like, what the fuck was he cooking?
What
Honestly,
was he just like? I haven't drawn Miwa in a while. I'll just put her right here.
yeah, like I don't know, man. Gig is gonna have to really work overtime. Well, no, that's a bad expression considering we're talking about Shonen
Yeah, in
Jump.
the manga sphere, we don't
Yeah,
use those words.
yeah, no, he's really gonna have to
Right,
explain
good.
himself. Yeah,
Yeah. Uh, and I
he's
don't
gonna
know.
have to. I don't know if he can kick, punch, backflip his way out of this one, boys.
Yeah, but I feel like Gojo's definitely about to get fucking killed, which
Yeah,
is,
because those are major death flags, right? Where he's like,
oh
oh,
yeah.
everyone's giving him like a back pat.
Mm-hmm.
Although I did think that was really cute when he was like, "Oh, I can't give you a high five because your curse technique's in the way," and he's like, "Give me a pat on the back, buddy," and then everyone goes like, "That's sweet."
Yeah,
Uh,
that's cute.
I wish he wasn't about to die horribly. Also, so Gojo just had a finger the entire time.
That's the assumption.
Uh,
We don't technically know that, but probably,
that
yes.
is true. So, but is the implication then that he still has it, or has he since given it to Yuji in this time skip?
My assumption is that he still has it, because it's not
Okay.
like Yuji has any, he doesn't have any markings on his face,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not like he would have eaten another finger.
Mm-hmm. Also, another weird thing here. What's up with Ino? Why is he missing an eye, and what does he have to say about Nanami?
Don't know. Um, I mean, what was he doing in Shibuya? He was fighting something at one point in Shibuya, right? It's been a while.
Well, he was helping with to fight against the soul summoning granny, who then accidentally sum,
Oh,
summoned
right.
Toji.
She the warped Toji back into the real world. That's right.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I don't know what he has to say something about Nanami, and then we didn't see what it was.
yeah. Also, okay, so let's talk Turkey. How would Yuji be able to do body swaps?
Okay, well, we know that the body and the soul are the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, and we know that he has a book from Yuki that's everything she ever learned about the soul.
Okay.
And we know that he's the character in the series who is the most used to interacting with the soul.
Okay.
So the only other thing I can think of is that he either like learned about some kind of technique in that book, or he got some sort of ability from, that theory that he ate the other death wound paintings. Um,
Yes.
but so I don't know, the dialogue is weird because they clearly have like, if it's genuinely meant to show that Kusakabe is in Yuji's body right there, um, he's saying like, "Oh, you need to master it," but it's like he did. You're not. You're
Yeah.
you're in different bodies. He did it right there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I don't know. This is the kind of stuff that I don't know. A time skip like this and a chapter like this just does so much to like create insecurity in the reader to a degree
mhm.
that I don't think is beneficial to the reading
No,
experience.
no, not at all.
Um,
Jumping to the day of the final fight, 12 chapters after setting a date for the final fight, which implies that like, oh, there's stuff to do. Gojo even said, "I have some stuff to do before I
mhm.
can fight them," and then it's like, no, apparently not. Apparently you
Yeah,
didn't, because we don't see any of it.
yeah. It's just kind of like, damn, whatever. Um, yeah. I mean, honestly, what was Giga cooking out of 10?
Yeah, God only knows out of 10.
Yeah.
And speaking of, next up is My Hero Academia.
Uh, yeah. Wow. Cool. I
Neat.
mean,
Yeah, I mean, whatever. The last panel is cute.
yeah. Art is crazy. Chapter has 11 pages. Which I mean, it was Golden Week before, so it's understandable to a degree. Um, I don't know how I feel about all the family just being here and burning together. Like
Just
that
all
seems,
burning to death. Yeah, it seems a little much.
yeah. Um,
Is the assumption that Todoroki the littlest is gonna save everyone? Is that
actually, I had not thought about that. I was just assuming that Endeavor was gonna manage to like lift Dobby up because Dobby gives up to a certain degree. and then they like die together, or like Endeavor gets horribly crippled. I feel like that's the conclusion this is going towards. Unless, yeah, Todoroki shows up and somehow
Well, we know they're on the
saves the
way
day.
with Ida blasting him through buildings to get him here.
Oh, you know what I think is going to happen? I think Endeavor's going to manage to get Toya sort of into the air so that his blast won't do anything. Uh, Toya's going to go off. He's going to die. Endeavor's going to be at the brink. And then Todoroki's going to come in and they'll be like, oh, we need like super powerful ice to like unburn him. And Todoroki's like, I got this, bros. And he saves him. And then Endeavor's fine. And he disappears from the manga like every other good thing about it. There you go. I'm putting my money on that. Um, but yeah, boy, I he's done it. He's managed to make me not care about the Todoroki subplot.
Yeah, it was just kind of also a nothing chapter. It's just 11 pages of like, oh shit, Dobby's gonna blow up. Um,
Yeah, and I honestly think Rei showing up in the last chapter was pretty cool, but Natsuo and Fuyumi showing up by comparison feels, I don't know, feels a little much and a little ill planned. Like, I don't give a shit about Natsuo. I'm sorry. I
yeah,
don't care about him being here.
yeah.
Um, Fuyumi, if she's not wearing a tight sweater, I don't give a shit about her either. So, look, yeah. So, it's sort of like it feels like this is banking on certain developments and certain like a certain level of investment in these other Todoroki characters that the story kind of hasn't built up or earned.
Also, not to be a glasses pushing spoil sport that doesn't suspend any disbelief, but how did 3 civilians sneak onto this battlefield? Aren't they like really close to all for one?
That, and also I call bullshit on the fact that they all have enough like ice ability or raise up ice ability strong enough to protect them from the heat that is burning Endeavor, the guy who is actually flame resistant. When it is
Well, yeah, because
established that,
also wasn't his whole thing like, oh, all of your ice sucks too much? That's why I need
yeah,
to keep having eugenics kids?
yes, and the other thing is that we know for a fact that Natsuo, Fuyumi, and Rei, all three are really weak to heat. So, these flames are burning Endeavor, like his face is fucking peeling off, and they're able to approach it while, obviously in pain, but they're not turning to dust as they should.
Right.
Um Also, what do you think about Toya having had ice all along secretly? Since we didn't talk about that last week.
Kind of dumb, but I don't care really that much.
Yeah. I mean,
It
I
it
think
it feels like they're just trying to do an emotional. Oh, his quirk awakened and he had the power all along, and then he could have really been that
mhm.
hero if he had that. And it's like they weren't. That doesn't really change anything about the situation though. Like they still were correct in trying to stop him from doing it,
Yeah. Yeah.
regardless. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool in that it makes Endeavor look like even more of a dumbass. Like it makes him it really hammers the point home that his rage and his like jealousy just made him do everything wrong from start to finish. Um so on that angle I do like it, but besides that, yeah, it's just keys jingling, right?
Yeah,
Like it's
I
a
mean
headline.
that kind of feels like what all of it is, and I don't know if I can really blame Horikoshi for it because again, this is an 11-page chapter.
Mhm.
I think he's done a 19-page chapter like twice in the past 2 or 3 months.
Mhm.
Um, the dude's struggling, and I really don't like necessarily blame him for in the final arc just being like, look at this set of jingly keys that you recognize. Isn't that exciting? Clap your hands. Um,
Mhm.
but I don't care about it. At the same time, like
Mhm.
it's just whatever.
Yeah, like it's a bad situation for everyone, author and readers.
Yes,
Um,
everything
well,
sucks
some
for everyone.
readers. Yeah, I mean, some people are still loving it, and frankly, all the more power to you. Um, Do not become like me. I am miserable. If you can still enjoy MHA, absolutely enjoy it. But yeah, MHA gets a jingle, 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 go to keys out of 10,
All right, then next up is Do Retry.
which is probably in the running for one of the dumbest names we've had
Sure
in the
is.
magazine.
Yeah, I don't know what you like. Fine, I guess that's what you want to call it.
Yeah. From the author of Bone Collection.
Which alarming first sentence right there.
Yeah. It's okay. I thought the
It's
setup was really interesting in that, I opened it up and I was ready for a lot of things. I was not ready for Japan is starving in the Second World War.
yes.
Like,
Uh, yeah, opening up with World War II fallout was not what I was expecting either.
mm,
It's okay. I think it's a decent like setup.
yeah,
It could be interesting. I don't really know that I'm gonna be invested enough in multiple chapters of watching this little kid just get the shit absolutely beat out of him,
right?
and then have adults be like, "Wow, he's not dead. He's really a cool, actually." Instead, um, but
Yeah.
hey, hopefully he actually starts like. I wouldn't mind a little time skip where he can actually fight a little bit, because
Hmm.
man, the misery porn of like him just getting his shit absolutely ripped by everyone is getting kind of old already.
Yeah.
He gets hit by a
Um,
car in the second chapter.
yeah, you know what? Back in my day, we had protagonists who did that in chapter one. Like Yusuke Urameshi or anyone. Like, get out of here with this weak new gen shit.
Well, Yusuke dies. This kid just got up and ran away to get his ass beaten more.
Yeah, Yusuke gets hit by a car and then goes on an amazing shonen adventure for like 150 episodes. Like, I don't see the problem there.
All right, well,
Um,
hopefully we're also. I like the assumption that they make at the end here, or not maybe not an assumption, I don't know, but at the end here when they've been beating the shit out of the kid for like 6 hours, and there's just people throwing money on the floor. Look, kid,
yeah.
look at all the money they're giving you for getting your ass beat in the middle of the street.
Imagine if the story continues, but he like internalizes the wrong lesson. It's not that, oh, fighting makes people pay you. It's, oh, if I get my shit kicked in without dying, people
I'll
will
get a
pay
lot of
me.
money. Yeah, he doesn't learn to box. He just keeps getting beat up. That's the whole thing.
Chapter 3, he jumps in front of the car.
He becomes a community hazard.
Yeah. Also, page 23 is one of the worst pages I've seen in anything in a while. Like just from an art perspective.
28.
Like the art is good, but the layout is just a
Oh
mess.
yeah,
Holy
yeah, I
shit.
really hate it. It's really bad.
Yeah. And I think that's my general opinion on the visuals is this is some real good art, but it's just not conveyed well, like in terms of spatial distribution on the page.
Hmm.
Um, every panel where he gets punched just doesn't look right to me.
Yeah, like they're going for I guess like the anime punches, but he gets punched on page 21, and that dude's
Hmm.
arm like grows. Like look at how long his forearm must be for him
Yeah,
to actually be like indenting his gut that much.
yeah. Um, so yeah, that's a little annoying. Um, but yeah, as a premise, it's fine. Like I wouldn't really drop it yet. I would give it like a couple more
Yeah,
chapters for sure.
we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, but if I do ever drop it, I'm surely not gonna retry it.
All right, moving on. That
Yeah,
was terrible.
moving on. Dad
Uh,
joke.
all right. Next up is Nue's Exorcist.
Oh, speaking of terrible,
Yeah, this
I'm
was a
joking.
lot of nothing, wasn't it?
This was honestly, this could genuinely be AI generated, and I wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
the tropiest thing ever. Nothing really happens in it other than just like the most generic backstory of all time. I wanna be strong because my dad died. fighting ghosts, and now I'm gonna fight ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
His super mode is literally just like he gets a little bit of black accent on him.
Yeah.
There's no creativity in his design. The only good thing is that the lady spirit is hot. That's about it.
Yeah, but I mean that's what the author probably wants you to take away from this.
Probably.
Um,
To be fair, the sort of spread on page 52 to 53 is pretty cool, but
yes.
that's about it.
Yeah. This really felt like I was reading this first chapter felt like I have dementia, and I was vaguely trying to remember like Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, Bleach, and a whole bunch of other smaller exorcism series all at
It reminds
once.
me of Phantom Seer if Phantom Seer was
Right.
bad. That's the only thing I can think of to say about
Phantom Seer without Riz.
it. Yeah. It's the flirting versus harassment meme, and it's just Phantom
Oh my
Seer
god,
in this.
it literally is.
The hello human resources.
Art's good though.
Art is really
Art's very
good.
good.
Yeah, it's very pretty visually. Um,
Hmm.
I think the designs are kind of not uninteresting. Um,
Hmm.
like the Spirit Girl looks pretty cool. She's got like the fancy dress and everything. Um,
Hmm.
I don't really love the design of the main guy. He's just like super generic looking to me. Um,
He's just a guy and has like a weird black
yeah.
symbol on his eye that no one
Uh,
mentions.
if you had given him shark teeth, he would be like the most generic anime character ever created.
Yeah.
The backstory sucks. The general like, oh, I'm a little scared of you, child, and I wish I wasn't, but now I have
Hmm.
power, so I'm strong. Is like that's every single anime ever. Um,
Yep.
the only part of it I enjoyed was when he like thought he was making some kind of horrible deal with a spirit, and they just end up playing like
Oh,
Street Fighter
yes,
for
I
a
was
while.
about to mention that.
That was
That's really
funny.
cool. If if this keeps going, I really hope that comes up more and more that she's just a fucking awful gamer.
And she's just
He's
kind of like,
like
yeah, she's kind of like just mean.
he's like, "Oh, my lady, I am ready for whatever foul contract you would have me do." And she's like, "Bet, hop on League of Legends." And he's like, "Oh hell no, I'm
Bet
getting
you're
out
gonna
of this
lose to
shit."
me for 510 games of Street Fighter 6.
She's like, "Get in, nerd. We're torturing Koroks." Um, but yeah, kind of whatever. This reminded me a lot, actually, of Tokyo Demon Bride story. In that I
Yeah,
didn't like it.
that's a very good comparison. I forgot that series existed, but that is definitely
Yeah, yeah. Nue's Exorcist, more like bad out of 10.
hmm I did not need to see bowl cut dude in his fucking tidy whities as often as we did in this chapter. I'll say that.
Yeah, right. That
It
was
was a lot
now
of
you
that.
mention it.
It's an unusually huge amount of that.
Damn.
But the final
Both.
spread was cool, and again, the girl's hot, so we'll give it a couple chapters,
Yeah,
see what happens.
yeah, for sure.
That's enough to buy you a ticket in manga world for a while.
I mean, frankly, yes, it is.
All right,
Um,
so we loop back around, tackling our number threes here. So first one is Kill Blue. I
so
like Kill Blue.
me too.
The little
Um,
I don't know why I was prepared to hate this little girl because I thought that she was gonna be like, oh God, this is gonna be the conflict. It's gonna be like he's gonna have to make nice with this person who sucks. Um,
mhm.
and it turns out that she's actually like cool and funny. And then I really like the main guy kicking the shit out of these goons while also still reading his school textbook because it's all he gives a shit about anymore.
Mhm. And he puts like a bag on her head
Yeah,
so
so
he
that
doesn't
she
see
can't
him.
see him fight.
Yeah, that's very funny. That's sort of very classic, like action anime shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean it's
Um,
very this whole series is very case closed, just in a more violent method.
yeah. He fucking topples a car with a geometric triangle.
hmm
which is also great. I love how he also specifies that, oh yeah, I'm only shooting like rubber bullets. I don't I don't kill anyone when I'm not on the job. Like, all right, let's bet, right? But it seems that she's figuring it out slowly. Because I do think she was like, oh, that voice.
Yeah, she definitely knows. Because yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
the whole last little panel is for. Um,
Yeah.
and I also like when they have their little like romantic moment sort of ish, where and then instead of like leaning into it, she's just like, "You asked for two favors instead of one favor."
Mm-hmm.
That's cute. I like the series. I like the main guy. He's got good vibes. He's got pristine vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the action is good. It's not like
Yes.
super detailed, but there's just enough to it. Like when he does the little flip over the cart to take the dude out, looks really
Mm-hmm.
cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to do like gunfighting action very well. And there are times in this too where I'm like, what the fuck? It's
Mm-hmm.
getting a little blurry. Gunfights are hard in manga,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Um.
it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I like about the thing I like about this little guy mostly is the fact that he's a fucking nerd who's like rediscovering the joy of learning.
Hmm.
Like that's such a I don't know. I feel like you don't really see that much because a lot of shonen is obviously for teens, and you don't want to glorify school to a bunch of
Right,
teens.
because they're the age group that's like, this sucks. Boo.
Yeah, exactly. Um, they're the age group that is wrong about books. Who are like, oh, these are awful and boring, and I don't want to read Frankenstein.
How dare they?
Frankenstein's fucking lit. One of the best
You
books
tell
ever
them,
written.
Grandpa.
Yeah. Hey, I've actually taught lessons on Frankenstein. I will tell him at whatever age I am. I'll be 26, I'll be 66. I'll be talking about damn Frankenstein. Now it's an allegory for basically anything you want. But yeah. Uh Kill Blue is Frankenstein pilled out of 10.
Frankenstein pill. All
Yes.
right. Then next up we have Blue Box.
Oh god, that fucking last few pages reminded me of that one moment in Sakamoto Days where the old guy's like, when a man realizes he cannot stop thinking about a woman, it's all over for him.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, oh, this is gonna be like they're really building towards this. I really hope that this is an actual confession and not like a fake out.
I see. I think that she's gonna have taken a different. Like I think that he fumbled the bag. Essentially, is what I'm thinking.
Oh,
Yeah, I
why?
don't. The fact that uh, the only message he got back when he was like, "We need to talk," was "sure." One
Mm-hmm.
word. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
feeling those vibes, man. The vibes are atrocious right now.
I I maybe I don't know. I feel like it's too little to go off of. Um, because I feel like if someone texts you, I'd like to talk to you about something when you get back. I feel like that already sets a certain level of seriousness where I personally, for example, wouldn't reply to that with anything more than sure. I just be like, okay, bet. Because like, what are you gonna say? Be like, oh, ha ha, ha sure, Taiki, I'd
I,
love to.
I don't know, man. It's stressing me out. That combined with like seeing her in the car being like kind of despondent and then the last thing that she said to him was asking
Hmm.
him if she offended him by hugging him.
Hmm.
This is,
Yeah,
this is a bad recipe, man.
I know, but I'm holding out hope because this it just seems like they're building towards an actual confrontation, and it is chapter 100, so
That's true. It is about that time.
yeah. Because I feel like this is a series that would really benefit from not ending with them getting together, but them getting together being a plot point that they then move on from. Um, I think sort of having this transition into sort of a a romance series with sports elements to a sports series with an ongoing like romantic dilemma where they're together and they're trying to like keep their relationship going. I think that's the way forward that I would prefer. I don't want this to be like, oh yeah, they've kissed once, curtains, right? Because there's so little of that, I feel, in like popular shonen manga, especially of like actual functional couples. It's always just aspiring couples. So yeah, I really hope he doesn't fumble the bag, basically.
Please don't fumble the bag out of 10.
Yeah, exactly. Um, all right, what's next?
All right, next up is Sakamoto Days. This fight has been really good, and I really like the fact that he's taking all the wrong lessons from what she said.
Uh-huh.
The whole like do whatever you can to protect it. She's trying to be like oh keep people safe, but now the lesson he's gonna take from this is I have to murder this little girl.
Yeah, and then at the end, like, what happened there at the end?
So he gets the antidote to save
Yeah,
them, and he decides that he's
yeah,
not gonna save them, and he's gonna destroy the bottle.
yeah.
To accomplish his mission. And then the other guy, the guy who's super fast, catches the
Mm-hmm.
bottle to stop him from doing that. But
Mm-hmm.
then moving so fast causes him to die because the poison impacts you
It's
based on how
the
active you are. So
yeah,
him going full speed kills him to save the bottle, and then he
yeah.
dies before he can like reveal that he realized that this guy was up to some shit.
Yes, but also wasn't this guy with the glasses one of the guys who was supposed to kill for his mission?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so that's sort of almost taken care of itself by now.
Hmm.
Damn. Okay, also, Sakamoto's solution to the fast acting poison, super fucking raw.
Yes. Just let him
Like,
stab you repeatedly while you choke him to death.
just incredible. And then his final words are "kill me quickly."
Hmm.
God, fucking Rockamoto days for
It
sure.
really is. It's raw as all hell. Sakamoto
Yeah,
Days is so good at that.
yeah, just at the rule of cool.
Hmm.
Um, so our emo boy, he's being blackmailed into killing a couple of VIP targets
Yes.
because they have his brother.
Yes.
Okay, so I did get that. Bet. Um, yeah, interesting to see where this goes because
Well,
the
we
lady
know that
has to die.
Akira is probably going to, or not Akira,
Akira's aunt.
Akira's aunt, I don't remember her first name, unfortunately,
Yeah.
um, is going to die here at least.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if the little girl is going to end up getting killed or not. I don't know. But,
I guess we'll have to see.
well, because also Akira sees at the end the guy die.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if like we're gonna jump right into the confrontation right now, or if there's gonna be some sleuthing shortly. I don't know, but I'm very excited to see where it goes.
Yes, absolutely. Like the chapter ending with Akira's gaze, that definitely has sort of the oh shit, it's happening vibes.
Yeah, like oh,
Um,
because we know the conflict is these two. So
yeah. So yeah, cool chapter out of 10.
all right, and then next is Ichinose Family.
Man, this shit's awful in like the best way.
Yeah, I don't I'm starting to get a little lost in it. Um,
As in, what's causing you trouble?
just like oh, we're kind of back now, and then there's still amnesiac, but also kind of not, but kind of yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then I'm not even entirely sure that we're in the real world right now. Like
That is true, but what I just really like the way like him getting supposedly out of this coma, which I think it is the real world, or at least we're supposed to currently believe it is the real world, considering he's visibly aged. Um, I like that it like almost reframes it as like his dream wasn't just sort of a misfortune. It was him trying to cope with the fact that he's depressed and feels that he isn't needed in life at all. Um, which I thought was an interesting way to sort of recontextualize this whole thing because so far it was always about oh we have to like get out of this loop, we have to get back to our normal lives, and here he is and it's like oh actually me coming back was kind of terrible for myself. Like other people were doing fine without me. Um, it's kind of a trope, but I do like it. Um, but yeah, I mean, I agree. This is a manga that kind of goes at 100 miles per hour when it comes to trying to confuse you, right?
Mhm.
Um, but still, I think we're 24 chapters in, and I feel like I've always been surprised and interested. So yeah, I think it's doing very well so far, at least for me.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm still, on board with it. I'm just kind of reaching the point where I'm like, fuck, there's so many layers to everything that's going on that I don't
mhm.
even want to think about. I just want to wait and be told that finally in some big reveal what's happening.
I want the author to like pat our heads and be like,
Hmm.
there, this is the plot.
Yeah, you've done well so far. Here's the plot summary page.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really good. I still really like it. And I like how we still have like a mystery going on besides just, the general confusion, which is the actual crash, because they are all amnesiac about it. So
Hmm.
there has to be something there still that we haven't gotten to, and I'm really curious to see what that might be. But yeah, very very cool and horrible vibes out of 10.
Yeah, atrocious vibes out of 10.
Yes,
And then the finale, we got Chainsaw Man.
I mean all reliable at this point, right?
Really, right?
Yeah.
Even
Um,
Jujutsu Kaisen lets you down. The Chainsaw Man's always here.
don't say that too loud, man. Um, I love the way like Asa's disgust at Chainsaw Man sort of loops around to him inspiring her.
Yeah, he's like so awful that if he's okay, then maybe she is too.
Yeah. I just want Asa to find out already that
Oh, I
Denji is
know.
Chainsaw Man.
I
I,
know.
I need that to happen. Um, and I love how, Chainsaw Man's been out for a while and Fujimoto has been able to observe like reactions to Denji. I love the fact that like the sort of vocal minority of people are like, oh, Denji's gross and he's like he's just weird about women. How that that criticism has not manifested in the series at all. He's still the same. He's still just like, I sit my ass down and respect women at the detriment of everyone else.
At the detriment of everyone around me. Yeah.
Yeah. Known women respecter Denji.
The page turn gag is really good, where he says he won't steal the bike because a woman's riding it. And she's like, all right,
Hmm.
well, so what about that one? And then the page turn is him kicking the dude off the bike immediately.
Yeah.
It's a really good page turn.
Hmm. And yeah, and then Asa turns it into a cool motorcycle because into a cool chainsaw cycle because she owns it and she can like,
Hmm.
yeah, she can make weapons, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So that is what happened. So yeah, they're just being chased by like gross spiked penises through the city.
Also, the panel where she stabs herself with the either glass or rock or whatever that is to cut her hand to get blood. The one where they're
Hmm.
both her and War saying ow at the same time is really funny to me.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, I also like that War is like she's not even that mad. She's just sort of like confused at like what's happening.
Yeah,
Like,
she
why are
seems
you
more
helping
irritated
him?
than anything. She's not like trying to stop her as much as just like
Hmm.
knock it off. Like, what are you doing?
Hmm. Um, and yeah, I'm just super interested now also to see because we got like the very very quick glimpse of fake Sawman. So
Hmm.
I feel like he might be sort of a reoccurring mystery for a while before we
It's
get the
gonna,
actual reveal.
yeah, I can see that happening. Also, it's
Um,
very Denji to immediately steal the bike, no hesitation, and then be like, I don't know how to use this.
yes, that's true. Absolute Chad uh character. I love him so much.
He really is great. Oh, man, Chainsaw Man's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. Just it's just a fun time, honestly. Like this is what reading comics is about. It's just fun. And if you want to dig deeper, you can dig deeper. But I'm just having a good time with
Just
this
having a
manga
blast. Yeah.
and that's more than I can say for the majority of Jump at the moment.
Yeah, a lot of them at the
Yeah.
moment for sure.
But yeah, I don't have anything else to say.
No, I don't think I do either. It's just good, enjoyable stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well then
All
we'll
right.
count that as an episode in the books. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we
Yep.
will see you next time.
Yep. We will see you around for another few times with me. Um, I look forward to that. Take care, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.